Welcome everyone. This is Terris Strength of the Know Your Rights show. This is a product of WBNN. This is Know Your Rights, and I'm your host, Terris Strength, of course. On air now from Lagos, Nigeria. Call-in family 717-734-6904. Press the show ID 533-4929 £, then £1, and star 2 to join the conversation. Of course, this is brought to you by Ngozi Time Multimedia. Welcome, family. Welcome for another engagement, another show. Something to get us thinking. My name is Terris Strength, and on this show we talk about all things metaphysical, spiritual, social, relationship-wise. We talk about it all. So today, our topic is spirituality, a new perspective, restoring the masculine. Restoring the masculine. Yes, family. So, I've had a couple of shows in the past talking about feminine energy, masculine energy. I love to have topics that we can talk about to help us be better souls while we're down here, right? Because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to evolve, to figure it out. And we play out these dynamics within our relationships. This is like the proving ground in our relationships. So we've all come back here to evolve and to grow and to learn how to accept and to love more. So in that, tonight we're going to talk about restoring the masculine and where the true masculine power lies. So call in, family. Call in, join us. Join us this evening, 717-734-6904. Press the show ID 533-4929 £, then £1, and press star 2 to join the conversation. Mo, thanks for logging in. Thanks for joining the conversation. Yes. We're going to talk about restoring the masculine. We're going to talk about where it truly lies. See if we can make some sense out of this. We have a whole lot of fighting and bickering going on between the masculine and the feminine down here right now. And we want to try to see if we can make some sense out of it. We can reconcile and sort it out and be better for it. I've been having conversations with young men, and some of the things that I've been hearing them say really have me concerned. So hopefully I can shed a little bit of light on it tonight. Hopefully if you're listening, you can get something out of it that you can take back home to your families, to your jobs, and of course to the rest of the world. So call in, family. Call in. This is the product of WBNN. This is Know Your Rights, and I'm your host, Terris Strength. Call in, family. 717-734-6904. Press show ID 533-4929 £, then £1, and star 2 to join the conversation. Come on, family. We gotta try to work on ourselves. There's too much going on down here. So call in, family. Call in. Yeah. Yeah. Spirituality, a new perspective. Restoring the masculine. Yes. We got a lot of men that are in a lot of pain, family. It's a lot of pain down here. They're in a lot of pain in their marriages. A lot of guys feel like they can't find a good woman. So it's a whole lot going on. Women can't find a good man. So let's see if we can shed some light on that topic tonight. Mo, thank you for joining in. Anybody else out there I can't see, thanks for joining the show. Hope you can get something out of it. But we're going to talk about it a little bit tonight. All right. So let's see if we can sum up something on this pre-show before we transition to talk show and talk a little bit about it. Yeah, so, I've been talking around, talking to people, having conversations with men, having conversations with women, talking to my son, and it's very interesting because social media has really shed a big spotlight on a lot of issues. We're watching the African American community. We're like basically just fighting with each other, just trying to hurt each other, and no one is winning. So it's just more pain, more abandonment, more rejection, just hurting each other. And we gotta chill out. We gotta stop, family. We gotta stop. So as we do on this show, we try to approach these topics from a metaphysical bent perspective. I hope you can catch what I'm trying to put out tonight. And please call in with your questions, please. Call in with your questions tonight. I'd love to hear your questions and comments about what we're talking about tonight. So, let's talk about, very briefly on this show, let's talk about what masculine energy is often associated, the qualities that are associated with masculine energy. Strength, assertiveness, action, logic, independence, ambition, the acquisition of wealth, differentiated gender roles, and feminine energy is more often associated with qualities such as intuition, nurturing, receptivity, empathy, collaboration, caring behaviors, sexual equality, environmental awareness, and much more fluid gender type roles. Okay? So we're talking about energies, right? And so we all have masculine and feminine energies within us. All right? We all have that. Now, when you incarnate as a man, you are predominantly masculine. When you're incarnated as a woman, you are predominantly feminine with how you express. But we have a dilemma down here right now, and we're going to talk about that on the show tonight. We're going to talk about why that's causing problems and what some of the things that we can look at and the problems that it causes in terms of the masculine and trying to heal the masculine so that we can be better leaders and help to restore balance down here, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about balance, being in balance. So call in, family. Call in. This is the product of WBNN. This is Know Your Rights, and I'm your host, Terris Strength. Call in. On air from Lagos, Nigeria, 717-734-6904. Press show ID 533-4929#, then £1, and press *2 to join the conversation. And of course, this is brought to you by Ngozi Time Multimedia. Yeah, so we have a lot going on right now. It's a lot going on. It's very, I've been watching the WNBA lately, and they've been really giving the smackdown to Caitlin Clark and what's going on with that league. And it's very interesting to me looking at the response from the men who feel like they're being too physical, right? The women are like, she's here now. She has to prove herself as a rookie. But the men are like, you're being too physical. You're being too physical. This is very interesting to me. Because in the past, we weren't even watching or paying attention. And now, it's on the news all the time. What's going on? Conversations all on TikTok and social media. So it's very interesting. But I think the one thing that we need to realize is that we need to understand and respect both energies, because both energies are equally important. They're both equally important. Thanks for joining us, Tawana. Thanks for joining us this evening. Mo and Tawana, thanks for joining us. Both energies are equally as important, But unfortunately, in our society, the feminine has been marginalized. And so I'm going to try to see if I can explain tonight how that's causing massive problems with the masculine. So call in, family. Again, 717-734-6904. Press show ID 533-4929, pound, then £1, and press star 2 to join the conversation. And of course, this is brought to you by Ngozi Time Multimedia. So the topic tonight is spirituality, a new perspective. We're going to talk about restoring the masculine tonight. We're going to talk about restoring the masculine. So yeah, so it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on out here right now. You know, we can talk about, you know, in the African American community. We can talk about in this country, period, and around the world. Particularly cultures that are very patriarchal, you know, that is, you know, is throwing everything out of balance. You know, you can't keep having women be upset in their marriages and their relationships and not have some repercussive effects. And we're having it. We're having those effects. We're seeing it. So she's not happy, no one's going to be happy. And it's just very interesting in terms of what's going on. So we're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about it tonight. We'll be trying to transition at about 9:24. Got another song coming on. Transition. (9:18), about 9:25. We'll be transitioning to talk show. Get it on. So yes, so call in, family. Call in with your questions. Call in with your comments. Spirituality, a new perspective. We're going to talk about restoring the masculine and why this is important. We are all comprised of both. So again, these are qualities. So these are the qualities of masculine energy. It's often associated with qualities such as strength, assertiveness, action, logic, independence, ambition, acquisition of wealth, differentiated gender roles. And feminine energy is more often associated with qualities such as intuition, nurturing, receptivity, empathy, collaboration, caring behaviors, sexual equality, environmental awareness, and much more fluid gender type roles. So I'm going to be speaking up in the Bronx, New York, this coming Saturday, Leo Rising. The restoration of the masculine is the topic. It's going to be at a male melanated soul expo for men. Predominantly men. There's going to be women there also. Love everyone to come up. You can check it out on Facebook under Terris Strength. It'll be tagged online. You're going to be there from about, I believe, 10 o'clock to like 4 o'clock up in Brooklyn, New York. The Bronx. So I'll be talking about this topic a little bit differently up there, but I'll be talking about this topic on this coming Saturday, June 8th. So please, if you can make it up there, come and join us. This is a soul event for men. It's about mental wellness and healing for men. So of course, women are bringing their sons, uncles, husbands. There will be women there, but it's primarily for men. And I'll be talking about this topic up there at the Bronx, New York this Saturday. So thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for chiming in. Tawana, Mo, anybody else out there I can't see, thank you for joining in. We'll be transitioning shortly. See if I can log in. So we're going to talk about this topic tonight. There's a whole lot of drama going out here, family. Whole lot going on. You know, you got the intersection of the passport bros, and men are leaving. They're tired of women in America, and oh my goodness. It's not a good look, family. It's not a good look. Not a good look at all. Just more pain, more hurt, more pain, more rejection. So we're going to see if we can sort it out a little bit tonight. So chime in, please. Call in. Call in with your comments. Call in with your questions. This is for the brothers. This is for men. Spirituality, a new perspective, restoring the masculine. So call in, family. Yes. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this tonight. So call in 717-734-6904. Press show ID 533-4929 pound, then £1, and press star 2 to join the conversation. So call in, family. Call in with your questions and comments. We're going to talk about masculine energy and feminine energy and how this all plays into it. We're going to talk about male chauvinism tonight and patriarchy. And why this is causing a problem right up under our noses, and what we can do to try to live with it in a better way and minimize the impact of it. Because it promotes division, family. It promotes division of each other and of ourselves. Causes confusion, family. Let me see if we can call in.
Welcome to Talk Show. Please enter the show ID followed by the pound key. Enter your PIN followed by the pound key. You are joining the online studio. Your line is muted. Only the host can unmute your line. Raise your hand using star 2 so the host knows when you... Hand raised.
Chinchilla, thanks for joining us. Call in, Chinchilla. Love to hear your comments. I'm gonna be tame. I'm gonna be good tonight, but be tame. I'm not gonna say anything real crazy, Chinchilla. transitioning shortly, family. About 4 minutes. Transition. Thanks for joining us, Chinchilla, Mo, Tawana. Anyone else out there that I can't see, thanks for joining us. Call in, family. 717-734-6904. Show ID 533-4929 pound. Then £1. And then *2 to join the conversation, family. Call in. Okay. All right, Chinchilla, well, do your best. Do your best. Do what you can, Chinchilla. Do what you can. Sneak out at some point, just for you, Tess. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Chinchilla. I'm sure you have something provocative to say that can add to the conversation. As our commissioner.
You will now enter the conference. Muted.
Here. And, of course, we're going to start off with our Know Your Rights. We are live from the beautiful downtown Lagos, Nigeria, and streaming from home since 2013 in Robinson, Pennsylvania, United States of America.
Unmuted.
Clear? Terris, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, now let's start our show to call letters, y'all. WBNN Nigeria for a second.
Recording started.
All right. This is a product of WBNN. This is Know Your Rights. And I'm your host, Terris Strength, on air now from Lagos, Nigeria. Call-in family 717-734-6904. Press show ID 533-4929 pound. Then £1. And of course, press *2 to join the conversation. This is brought to you by Ngozi Time Multimedia. Before I begin, I would like to thank Brother Oladeli and the O&E Dynasty family for giving me the opportunity to share my story and my perspective. The topic for this evening is spirituality, a new perspective, restoring the masculine. He's the divine masculine, strength and power personified, an unwavering pillar of stability, creating order out of chaos. He shapes the world with his hands. He's the divine masculine, the protector, the provider, guiding and leading with authority, a warrior with a compassionate heart, defending what he holds dear. He is the divine masculine, balancing logic and intuition, mastering the dance of reason and emotion. His wisdom flows like a mighty river, nurturing growth and understanding. He is the divine masculine, fierce and fearless in pursuit of truth, harnessing his energy with purpose, an embodiment of discipline and honor, walking with integrity in every step. He is the divine masculine, the lover and the beloved, embracing passion and vulnerability. He seeks connection on a soul level, bringing harmony to union and partnership. He is the divine masculine, a sacred embodiment of strength and grace, in harmony with the divine feminine. Together they weave the tapestry of existence. He is the divine masculine. She is his genesis of power. He cherishes it and honors it. Their hearts beat in union. To honor and embrace the divine masculine, for he is an essential part of the cosmic dance. Within each of us, the divine masculine resides, a source of power and wisdom to be realized. He is the divine masculine. That was beautiful. That's exactly what it's supposed to, that's exactly what it looks like, family. Thanks for joining in, everyone. This is the Know Your Right show with Terris Strength. Spirituality, a new perspective. The topic this evening is restoring the masculine. I want to thank everyone for joining in. Hope you're having a great spring. We'll be heading to summertime soon. There's a lot going on in the world. Mr. Trump been brought up on charges. Caitlin Clark is being beat up in the WNBA. And we got the NBA playoffs about to start on Thursday. And so here we are, family. Here we are. So I wanted to talk more about this topic because I've been having conversations, with my son. I've been having conversations with women, young women, and it's starting to hurt my heart to see what's going on, to see the fighting and bickering, the jockeying for power and control that's going on with us, family. It's not good. It's not good. And social media is playing havoc with men. We look at some of the stats. Women are divorcing men. They are initiating divorce at 80% clip. The men don't understand what's going on, and I feel like they're afraid. They feel like there aren't any good women out there, and they can't trust the woman. I'm not going to risk my money and my family just for her to leave me. And the women are saying there aren't any good men, and I don't need a man. I'm independent. And so you have this going back and forth, back and forth. So I want to talk about it a little bit and see if we can make some sense out of it. And if you're going to ask me, I hold the men accountable for it. And I'm going to tell you why, because leadership is part of the masculine. So I want to read this. I read this on Facebook Live for the people that are on Talk Show that didn't hear it. I want to read this. I want to talk about the energy, the difference in it. Masculine energy is often associated with qualities such as strength, assertiveness, action, logic. Hold on for a second. Hold on, family. Make sure I'm here with Brother O. Hold on, I haven't sent me yet.
All right, go ahead and go ahead. So go
Did
ahead
you
and
send me a
do
text? You send me a text yet, brother? Oh, I don't see.
All right, we have live. Yes, I got live and live with y'all. And while he getting his stuff together, of course, none of it. 773-469-04. Press the pin number 533-492-1 of course, press star 2 to join this conversation brought to you by You ready, Terris?
I'm ready. All right. So masculine energy is often associated with qualities such as strength, assertiveness, action, logic, independence, ambition, acquisition of wealth, differentiated gender roles. Feminine energy is more often associated with qualities such as intuition, nurturing, receptivity, empathy, collaboration, caring behaviors, sexual equality, environmental awareness, and more fluid gender type roles. Okay? Masculine energy can be more directed, focused, and linear, while feminine energy can be more receptive, creative, expressive, boundless, embracing, and vulnerable. Masculine energy can also exist on a physical plane, while feminine energy exists on an energetic plane. All right? So people can choose to show up in either energy with practice. For example, someone might use their masculine energy when analyzing investments, planning their week, or negotiating, and their feminine energy when coming up with creative ideas, dating, or using their intuition. Now, the problem that we're seeing is, I feel the major problem is male chauvinism or chauvinism. And this is why it's a problem. Chauvinism and patriarchy. You guys have heard me talk about this on multiple shows. You've heard me talk about this in religion. I've said it once. I'm going to say it again. One of the things that I have an issue with is that the goddess is not represented in deity in predominantly Christianity, in a bunch of other religions, in a lot of your ancient religions she was. But how do you remove the feminine principle when none of us get here but by women? So you're saying that these traits or attributes are not important. The fact of the matter is we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. We all have masculine and feminine energies within us all. As a man, you are predominantly masculine, right? You are predominantly strength, assertiveness, action, logic, independence. There's that word. Ambition, acquisition of wealth. I got to get that bag as men, right? Differentiated gender roles. This is men. And feminine energy is more often associated with intuition, nurturing, receptivity, empathy, collaboration, caring behaviors, sexual equality, environmental awareness, and more fluid gender roles. So we have both within us. But here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. So let me read what chauvinism is, or the meaning of male chauvinism, and then I'm going to read what chauvinism is. Male chauvinism is the beliefs, attitudes, or behavior of male chauvinists, men who patronize, disparage, or otherwise denigrate females in the belief that they are inferior to males and thus deserving of less than equal treatment or benefit. Now, here's what chauvinism means. Chauvinism is the unreasonable belief in the superiority or dominance of one's own group or people who are seen as strong and virtuous, while others are considered weak, unworthy, or inferior. Now, let's read what is the difference between male chauvinism and patriarchy. Male chauvinism refers to an individual's belief in the superiority of men over women. It involves attitudes and behaviors that promote male dominance and the devaluation of women. For example, A male chauvinist person might believe that men are inherently more capable in leadership roles and should make decisions without input from women. Patriarchy is a broader societal system where men hold most of the power and authority in various aspects of life, such as politics, economics, and social structures. It's not just about individual beliefs, but deeply ingrained social norms, right? Now, we can see the problems that we have in this world, or in this country, or in this world when it comes to racism, right? We can see what it causes. We can see the psychological effects of it, right? What about the psychological effects of male chauvinism or patriarchy on the psyche? How can we not think that the feminine is not affected when we marginalize the feminine traits, right? And in effect, what we're doing we're marginalizing the feminine traits within ourselves. So I want to make this clear amongst men, because anytime we hear that, we think we're talking about someone being gay or homosexuality. That's not what this is about. Because I know personally a lot of men who have a hard time accessing their feelings. I mean, you talk about emotional constipation, they have a hard time. And as a result, they create a lot of havoc in their families. They're disconnected emotionally, like I see it, like it's a problem. And they usually never want to go to counseling and seek any therapy, see anything that's wrong. So of course they create disease, and this is one of the major reasons why they check out of here quickly. Now, for example, in a patriarchal society, laws and traditions might limit women's access to education and employment opportunities, reinforcing men's dominance. Overall, male chauvinism is about individual attitudes of male superiority, while patriarchy is a systemic structure where men as a group hold more power and influence in society. All right? So we can see how that would be a problem in these relationships, right? Because here's what's going on, family. We have women who are also male chauvinists. We have women who have now brought into chauvinism. Okay? The women also have brought into chauvinism. Her thinking is, if you can't beat them, join them. So now you hear, we all know that men want to be respected. Women want to be loved. Men want to be respected. What do you hear women saying now? You disrespecting me. You see a lot of these traits. I'm an independent woman. I got my own money. There it is, acquisition of wealth, right? So as men now, we have turned, we have beat down, we have marginalized the feminine. So now our women are becoming more masculine in their expression. They're still women. Now, here's the reality. The men are deciding, oh, I'm going to leave the passport bros. I'm going to go to another country and find me a woman that's more feminine. Yeah, because you done beat up on and destroyed your women over here with patriarchy, with not understanding, right? And she's not winning either. She adopts chauvinism, right? She adopts it and believes it, and she ends up alone also. She's in relationships and she's out of sorts. She's at odds with her own nature. And so we're both losing because we're not learning. We're not accepting. And anytime you marginalize, whether it's sexism, racism, genderism, it's a problem. It's going to be a problem because you are creating a toxic environment. So in your relationships, what's a part of the feminine is collaboration. Part of the masculine is competition. In your relationships and marriages now, because your women are male chauvinists like you, now you're fighting in your marriages. So it's a power struggle. She's hiding her money. You're trying to hide your money. And so as men, what's happening is we're in these marriages and we're alone. You end up alone because you have marginalized the feminine to the point that she doesn't want to be feminine anymore. She doesn't want to be feminine anymore because she's been told that those traits are weak. They are weak. It's all about being logical. Emotions don't matter. So now she's following you. I think we have a caller in the queue. Caller 1. Who am I speaking with?
Hello, Terris. It's Ava Holly. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Ava? Speaking of the feminine.
I'm doing good. I love your explanations. They make so much sense, what you're saying, you know. It's interesting because I'm wondering if when you're talking about the patriarchy, do you think that's also involved in around specific cultures? Because some cultures are brought up that way.
Yes.
And so the man is dominant.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's where I was going with that. When you were talking about it. Great show. I really don't have anything to add. I'm just enjoying listening to you. And I like your explanations, and I just wanted to support your show.
Thank you, Ava. Oh, your show is tomorrow, right? I'm always asking, when is your next show?
My show is tomorrow. That's right. Woohoo! Yes. So thank you for that. And we had our Smart ASS Network show yesterday.
Okay.
So it's a busy week.
It's always a busy week around here, Ava. Ava, thanks for calling in. You know I love you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to help the sisters out, Ava. I'm trying to help them out. We gotta stop. I think we have another caller in the queue. Caller 2. Who am I speaking with?
Good evening, Terris. It's Jen.
Hey, Genesis, how are you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for calling in.
I am doing well.
Are you there?
All right, since the time you fade in and out, get kind of close to the mic. Yeah. He didn't hear words you just said. I'm gonna put you on. Call back in, Genesis. Call back in. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call back in. Pick up that call.
Hi, Terris. It's Jerry Petito. How are you, sweetie?
Jerry, how you doing this evening, Jerry?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So I do want to comment on what you're talking about.
Yes.
So I've never really experienced anything aimed at me by men as a woman, except at the casinos. Now, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm also a poker dealer. I don't really do it anymore, but I owned a poker league pre-COVID for 10 years in Mercer County called Midnight Owl Poker.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Yes. So a lot of people don't know about that. But anyway,
Right.
so when I go to the casinos, and Terris, it could be once a week or once a month. It doesn't matter. I'll go with a friend, and it's always a guy friend usually, and I always say to him, let's talk to the guys running it, because I'm friends with a lot of them. I want to sit where there's a couple more women, because if I am the only woman at the table, and I mean this 100% of the time, not every once in a while, always, if I raise 9 out of 10 of the players, or 8 out of 10 of the players, whatever it is, will call me even with their crap because I'm a woman, and they want to beat me with junk. If my buddy's sitting next to me, because I'll tap his knee with my knee, all right, that'll let him know, guess what, I have a good hand, fold, whatever. But if he raises, probably 7 out of the 9 players will fold.
Interesting.
And that's God's honest truth. I know that sounds silly to a lot of people listening, but if that's part of your life, like it is mine, that's a big deal. And I always, whenever I go, my one buddy, Big Ricky, we're both dealers. We went to dealer school back in the day together. Like he'll say, you're right. We'll leave there, and he'll go, it happened again. You're right. And I'm like, yep. So I've experienced it, honestly, only at the casinos.
So do you have any idea as to why that happens, Jerry?
Yes, I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I've won a lot of tournaments. I won one of Park's first tournaments when they opened up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I have, you know how I always have like my logo T-shirts on? Well, my logo hats and T-shirts for poker are J4, baby, Jack 4. Because there's actually a video out there, the Jack 4 effect.
Okay.
And you could Google it, poker players. If there's a Jack out, most likely 7, 8, 9 out of 10 times the 4 is going to come along with it. So my uniforms are Jack 4, baby. I'm also a decent poker player, and most of these players know that, and they do not want to be beat by a woman. So if I have pocket aces and I raise, and they know I must have a big hand by my raise, because we all kind of know what someone's doing sort of by how they're raising or whatever, and they'll know, and they have, honest to God, they could have like 2-7, and they're like, F it, I'm calling her. I hope I could suck out on her. I had a guy call me one time. He had in his hand 6-9, and I raised with pocket king 4 times what was in that pot. And he goes, I'm calling. And what do you think comes out? 6-9-9. So they refuse to play right when a woman is at the table because they do not like to lose.
They don't want to lose. They don't want to lose.
And that is the truth.
Right. They don't want to lose to her, and that's
right.
That's one of the traits of male chauvinism.
Yes.
That's one of it.
Yep.
Now you have men. Men are competitive, so you have men. They don't want to lose to anybody, but they definitely don't want to lose to a woman.
Yeah.
They definitely don't want to lose to a woman. I mean, I guess nobody wants to lose, right? But it's extra if it's a woman, and that's male chauvinism, and that's what I'm talking about tonight. That we have to, as men, we have to learn about what's going on, and we have to move in a different direction because it actually makes us less of a man. Male chauvinism hurts masculinity. True divine masculinity, because you're rejecting the feminine side of yourself that we all have within us. You're rejecting that, and it causes all types of problems in your relationships with your wife, your children, you name it. Causes all these problems.
Correct.
So this needs to be talked about, and social media is scaring the hell out of men. Because women can go there anytime and get tons of attention, and they're afraid that their girlfriends are going to leave them. They're scared to death. So all this stuff about women not having value, that's all coming from fear. That's all fear-based. It's all fear-based. And so I want to talk about this, and we're going to delve into what some of these traits look like tonight. Jerry, I love you, Jerry. Thanks for calling in.
I love you too, and thanks for this. I'm on tomorrow night too, Tara.
Okay, you on tomorrow night too? Okay. All right. So Jerry's
8 p.m. with the Smart Ass Network.
The Smart Ass Network. Okay, so Jerry's on tomorrow too, right? And Ava mentioned that too. Thanks for calling in, Jerry. And you call in if you got any more comments before the show is over. All right, brother. We have another caller in the queue.
Hi, Terris. It's Genesis from Marktown. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Genesis. How are you doing?
Okay, awesome.
Good.
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing great.
So I wanted to chime in on this topic because I think that you can look at this in multiple ways.
Okay.
The first way that, as you were speaking, that I thought about is it could be a product of their household, how they were raised. For example, some men are raised by single mothers, so their father or male figure is absent. So that mom may teach him, you're not supposed to dive into your emotions. Mom doesn't want you to be a punk. Mom doesn't want you to act a certain way. I don't want you to be soft, or whatever the case may be. Yep. And depending on where they are raised in the world too. And then the other part for the females, it could be that they're raised by a single father, and that father is teaching his daughter to be very strong-willed, independent, and etc., because he doesn't want his daughter to be taken advantage of.
That's true.
And then to Ava Hawley's point, cultural. It could also be cultural norms. Like,
Absolutely.
what culture are they raised? Cultures expect men to be and act a certain way. Same with the women, and then let's not even get started into like how things in societal norms have shifted from the 50s, 60s, 70s to now. Everything is condoned per societal norms, social media, and the minute that think that may, depict a certain characteristics on that man or whatever the case may be, because now.
Hello?
I think down in Texas and that a lot of weather in the last 2 weeks.
She's making
So,
some.
it's definitely might be telecommunication situation. But I'm not just said, my teaching come back on to talk. Jessica, can you hear us? So we really get trying to call to hear you.
I can hear y'all, especially some weather stuff.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that.
I can hear you.
A little bit. It's not your fault. I know what's going on down there in that side of Houston. So,
Okay.
I think, if you continue to go in and out, I mean, you said it a mouthful so far.
Yes.
You heard exactly what you said. We
Yes.
want to touch that with you. If you keep going in and out, I can touch you. All right, here we go.
Okay, she's still talking?
Okay.
Okay. Go
No,
ahead, Genesis.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
here.
go
I was
ahead.
listening to Dr. O. He sounded far away, though, on my end, though.
You
so
sound
it's hard
clearer,
to
right?
hear
You
what
sound
you're
clearer
saying.
right now.
No.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you heard all the things that I said, Terris, but that's what I definitely wanted to weigh in
Yes.
based on this topic.
Yes, and Genesis, I agree. All of those factors contribute to that. I think the reason why I want to talk about this, because yes, you're absolutely right. Culture, circumstances, how you were raised, single mother, single father, blah, blah, blah. The fact of the matter is, when we look at, if you take all of those factors, and we act like just because it's the culture that we're in, that it's not incorrect or it's not diminishing or marginalizing. It is. It doesn't matter what culture we're in. The goal is that we have to. It is in our best interest to learn and try to move towards balance. That's the goal. We have many chauvinistic cultures. It's all male and dominant, and it's a terror for women. It's a terror for the feminine. That's why they try to leave and get out of it. It's oppressing, So it doesn't change the fact that it's oppressing, And so, but as men, what's happening over here and in other places is that women, the feminine, is pissed off. She's pissed off, and half the time she doesn't even realize it. And these things play out in these romantic relationships. Women are divorcing men at an 80% clip, probably 85% clip. When a divorce happens, it is initiated by the woman. And that stat is scaring men to death. Now, of course, we're speaking in generalities here. We're not, we can go country to country or whatever, right? But it is scaring men to death. And why is she doing it? Because the guys feel entitled. They feel entitled. They don't feel like they had to learn anything about her. She has a job to do. She's there. She got to learn everything about them. And women are saying, now she's doing the same thing you're doing. So these relationships are more unsatisfying because of that, because we don't want to learn. We don't want to learn about each other. The traits of the feminine are marginalized. And then we trying to say, well, I don't want you to be soft or be a punk. No, I'm having these same conversations with my son. And I'm like, dude, don't follow everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you less male to learn about her, to understand the feminine. It makes you more masculine because you have both within you. And so when you can honor that aspect that is within you, then you're going to have an easier time honoring and respecting her. It doesn't matter whether she's raised in a patriarchal society or whatever. What are you expressing? So that's why I wanted to talk about this, because this is real. Guys are leaving the country, going to someplace else because they believe the women are more feminine. Bruh, you caused the problems. You caused the problems in your marriage because you marginalized her traits. And so therefore you ended up alone. You understand what I'm saying, Genesis?
Oh, I get you. And I definitely think that it's a 50-50. We need to know how to balance one another.
Absolutely.
And there has to be a right mix of dominance. One person can't be more strong-headed than the others, and it's a give and take, because I had to deal with that, but only because I worked in a male-dominated field such as oil and gas for 12 years. So whenever I got with my husband, who's a very strong man, I had to learn how to balance, because at first it was like, oh, you're trying to run me. You're trying to be bossy.
Exactly.
And anyone who knows me and my husband know that we're very, very loving people. But it definitely took work for us understanding each other's personality and all having that respect factor. And if that man or woman respects you, then they will learn how to deal with you and not just adapt to the point where they're lessening who they are as a man or woman.
Absolutely.
And I'm speaking vice versa.
Absolutely. You know, I've had conversations with men, and it's like pulling teeth. The thought of them the thought that they got to read a book to learn about women, they are offended. I have a good friend of mine. He's a good brother. Love him to death. He spent his whole college career mad at black women. He's a black guy, a computer nerd. He sees things in ones and zeros, right? He spent his whole college and after angry at black women because he was rejected by black women because he was socially awkward, and but he never tried to read one book to learn about women and how they think. Not one. So when he didn't get the results that he wanted, now he's mad at them. He goes overseas and marries somebody else, right, from another country, so that he can now drive her crazy with his lack of knowledge. The only difference is he went and got her. She's over here now, and we went out to dinner, and I'm looking at her, and she's in pain constantly, right? So he's thinking he did all of that to avoid growing and expanding, right? And he admitted that he said he was overtaken by the noose of entitlement. Those were his words. He felt entitled that he had a college education, that he had a house or whatever, that he should get whatever woman he wanted. I'm like, bruh, the only problem is you're not the only man that's out there. You're not the only man. But a lot of men feel entitled, and when they have a hard time meeting women, they're angry about it. Because they feel, I said, dude, you feel more entitled than I did. You need to, if you want to attract her, you need to learn about her and her psychology, what matters to her. And many of us, we do that in order to get the woman, but then when you get married, you resort back to it not matter now. You don't, you shut everything down. No. And this is why she wakes up one day and says, I want a divorce. So going overseas and marrying a younger woman, so that she can leave you because you're trying to avoid learning. This is a learning realm. This is an evolving realm. We are here to grow and evolve. Thanks for calling in, Genesis.
Exactly. Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
This is such a good topic, and I'm going to get off. So I would definitely tell the listening audience, if the person that you're with does not challenge you to grow, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you need to ask yourself, what are you doing? Because you should always look at yourself in a lens and then ask yourself, what are they doing?
Yes.
Because if you're doing something that is not conducive, are you projecting that onto the other person or vice versa? And y'all should be there to sharpen one another and to cause one another to elevate, because just like the world is revolving, we as individuals need to revolve and grow. Absolutely. You're not the same person you were 10 years ago.
That's exactly
so
right.
You need to either grow the heck up, or you need to fall out of line and let that person be with somebody else who is on their same level or who can get them to the next level, because you can't be stagnant. You need to keep on growing.
Absolutely.
And relationships should be maturing on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
And you should continue to date one another if you're married and fall in love with each other daily. And that's why some people's marriages aren't lasting as long. People are lasting like 40 years, 50 years. Like some are like 2 years, 5 years, and they're like, okay, deuces, on to the next. But just because you move on to the next, what problems are you fixing about yourself and how you dealt with that last relationship?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And as men, since we want to be the leaders, right, then we need to create a culture in these relationships that is conducive to expansion and growth. That should be our job as the master.
Now you know I got to come on. Now you know I got to come on and say something. I love what Genesis said tonight. Well, first of all, I am a person where, when it comes down to respect, and I said, Terris, you're right. I'm going to send Genesis on here right now. When it comes down to respect, if you're not being respected, leave the person alone. And I mean alone. I did it twice. Because my happiness is more important than anybody's happiness. If I'm not happy, then we're not going to be happy. Period. Because it should be the same way around. If she's not happy, then you shouldn't be happy.
Yep.
Because, back in the old days, they always say, Terris, happy life with a happy wife.
Yes.
Well, not these days for me. I'm happy as a bachelor. And I want to remain a bachelor for the rest of my life. Good night, everyone. Good night, America, and all the ships at home.
He's waiting on his rib that the Lord is going to bless him with, because you never know. God could strike a nerve that will cause him to change his mind.
I respect it.
No, I got neuropathy. No, I got neuropathy now, man. I got no feeling in my feet. Thank you.
Genesis, thank you for your wise comments. Genesis, thank you for your comments.
My pleasure. I have spoken for the millennials who are like-minded as me, because not all of us millennials think the same.
No, but I agree with you. I am impressed with the millennials. I am. I'm having a lot of conversations with my son.
We're impressed with. We're impressed. We're impressed with Genesis anyway, man. Genesis, I told you last night, is phenomenal. She teases me all the time, trying to hit me with somebody. I'm cool. The only thing I want to do is share both our Social Security checks. But I thank Genesis Mark Stephen Houston. And of course, right back to Terris Strength. Let's get it on, man. Get it on.
Is there another call in the queue, brother?
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
And here she is.
Caller 3, 4. Okay. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Terris. This is Mo Garman calling from Philadelphia. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Mo?
I'm doing great. I'm really enjoying the show. Enjoying Genesis and Jerry and Ava. Everybody's kind of chiming in, and it's really nice.
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
Wait a minute. You don't enjoy me, Mo? You don't enjoy me? You just put Dr. O to the side? That's how we doing? Because I'm a bachelor? Mm-hmm. That's how this...
You are crazy. Always enjoy you, brother. I have a question for you, Terris.
Yes.
Patriarchy.
Yes.
You mentioned it's the cause. It's the cause of a lot of problems, and I can say it's probably the cause of most wars. Can you speak to gender-based violence and what can be done about it? And what about women who seek to be oppressed because they think it's right?
Yes.
Meaning they think it's part of their spiritual practices or beliefs.
Yes, that's that whole martyr.
What do you do about situations like that?
Yeah, that's the whole martyr victim thing. And see, and this goes back to what Genesis was saying about how we have cultures that are that way, different scenarios. Yes, all of that is true. The fact of the matter is we have to remember that we are here to evolve and grow as souls. So Earth is the obstacle course that we're to overcome. So you're right, patriarchy causes a lot of abuse. It causes a lot when it comes to women or the feminine principle. it causes abuse, it causes isolation, it causes denigration. I mean, you name it. I mean, that's a problem. And the last thing we need is more women prescribing to a chauvinism. A lot of women, and you can't blame them to a large extent, but it needs to be talked about. You cannot blame them because they've been marginalized for so long. You know, they've been marginalized in religion. They've been, where's the goddess? And the goddess, she's coming back. She never left, but you can see her rising again, and the masculine is having a major problem with that. And we don't realize that we're having a major problem within ourselves. And I'm going to talk about that in a couple of seconds. So we have to reject that, and we have to learn, Mo. We have to consciously move towards learning and trying to trying to engender balance within ourselves. And we need to be having more of these conversations. Men need to be having more of these conversations. Stuff goes awry, even with the sexual identity stuff, because guys are not dealing with their emotions. They're just angry. Women are being rejected, and they're angry in these relationships, and for good reason. She goes to church, it's all about men. She goes to work, it's all about men. Then she got to come home and be dominated by her husband at home. Then he not getting it. He's just doing what he does. Meanwhile, she's steaming underneath. And when she's steaming, you're gonna see a lot of passive aggressive behaviors come out, and this is what we see going on. These women are getting married, they're becoming single, and they're happy being single. They don't want to take care of nobody. So what does that say for the young men that are coming out of these families and all these breakups? What is it saying for the daughters, the new generations, who being told they don't need a man?
Right.
It's knocking everything out of balance, and we are all paying for it. And all these broken marriages and broken relationships.
I gotta come on. I gotta come on because Terris stepped on my toe there, and I love it. First of all, I'm a happy bachelor, and I want to be for the rest of my life. But I also taught my son this outstanding point. My son's been going with his 7th grade sweetheart, and he is engaged to be married.
Nice.
I've been married twice, so I know what it is to be married and to be in love. He saw that. Definitely with his mother. I was married to her for 19 years, okay? Mm-hmm. So he had the perfect perfection of, me and his mother's relationship. We never really disrespected each other. We just fell out of love. Boom. I get married second time. Should have did that. Okay. Boom. So now I'm a bachelor. So the key is that just because I live my wonderful lifestyle and my son is living his wonderful lifestyle, we can always have respect, and parenting is very important. Mm-hmm. And it ain't about do as I don't do as I do as I say. It's be better than me. And absolutely. I always teach my son that, Terris and Mo. I want you to be better than me. I want you to be more responsible in your relationships than me to a certain extent. And my son has really done that, and I'm proud of him for that. And I'm proud of me as a bachelor. Goodbye.
Sound like a great kid, brother. Dr. O, sound like a great kid.
Enjoy. Sounds really nice.
He is a great kid. And ready for this? Monday, I'm telling you, I cannot wait. Me and his mother will be going flying to Berkeley, California for his graduation. And now it's a 5-star chef getting his I'm speaking into existence, master's. He's getting his bachelor's now. But yeah, very proud.
Great.
My son lives on his own.
Great.
Okay, and he takes care of his, well, he lives with his fiancée. But he's on his own.
Right.
And I taught these things. I had one child. I knew, Terris, I didn't even have a bunch of children. A little bit. I'm a little too selfish sometimes. I always took care of my son. I didn't have a bunch of Ngozis running around here, taking and tapping my money. No, I'm cool. Happy bachelor. I have my own bread. My son got his own bread. Man, WBN is fantastic.
Brother, crazy. Mo, are you there?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I think as you bring up some really, really good points, and so did Dr. O. Women sometimes we don't have that positive role model. We're just kind of taught to follow and to kind of stuff our feelings. and to do as the men tell us to do. And like you said, you learn it at home, then you go to work, and it's kind of pervasive. And then you end up in a relationship and you can't figure out how you got there. And you think that the guy has your feelings in mind. I can only speak for myself. I was in a very patriarchal relationship at one point, and it was not good. It was not balanced, and it was because I had been in the same situation. I had been taught that you are subservient, that you just do whatever the man tells you to do, and if you disagree, you're just to be silent. That's the kind of thing. So it was very difficult for me to learn to navigate that. That's why I wanted to touch on that.
Right. Yeah, and you raise a very good point, and that's chauvinism, Mo. That's what chauvinism. That's what it does. The men, as men, we don't care about how you feel.
Terris, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Now, this is something that I've been wanting to ask you, and I'm so glad your twin is on. Her name is Mogar. Okay. And I want to thank you for allowing me to share my perspective. All right. Do you believe? This is what I believe. I don't believe in an alpha female. I don't believe in that. A man should take care of his responsibilities and to be the protector of the woman and allow the woman to be herself and her greatness. I do believe that. I do believe that a woman should be great. You should encourage that. But there's no alpha man, no alpha woman, no subservient man. No, absolutely not. You work together, yeah, that's cool, but it's all good. So, how you feel about that, Terris? I said what
there are women that have you do have women that have a lot of male energy. I have a friend of mine right now. She's exactly that. She has a high level of masculine energy. It's part of her DNA. It's who she is, and she has it for a reason. And she has to reconcile that. What I feel, I've come here to help people to think about who they are, and no matter what place they are, to move towards wholeness. She also has to balance that. She has to move towards balance. A lot of stuff that we do, we're not trying to be better in that way. We're not trying. We just out here, just blustering on people instead of thinking about what we're doing and how we're living and how we're impacting people that are around us. But no, you do have women that are that way, like you have men that are the opposite way. That's part of what goes on down here, and they have work to do to balance that out. I might have some of that even with my own daughter, and she has to go along and work on herself and accept that. But as her father, I accept my daughter. I'm not marrying her, obviously, but I accept her. But because her being that way has been causing her inconvenience, right? And so when you are a certain way and you look at your life and how you are is inconveniencing you, then you got to make some adjustments and changes. And so all I'm trying to do is provide tools to people that they can look at what's going on, and maybe it can help them to balance the scales, and so that they're not inconveniencing themselves as much. I hope that answers your question, brother. I don't know if I did.
Right.
Is he still there? I guess he is.
Yeah.
I guess he's gone.
Yeah, I'm still here, man. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm taking some chats here. But what were you saying? I'm sorry. After I was taking those chats, what you need from me?
No, I didn't know if you heard my response. If that was good enough for you, that's all.
Replay that response if you don't mind, because like I said, trying to take these chats and people are agreeing with what I'm saying, and they should be. But go ahead. What did you say, real in a nutshell?
Yeah, I was just basically saying that that you do have people that have you have women that have excessive masculine or alpha energy. They have that, and they have to reconcile that, and they have to manage that. If it's causing them problems in their life, then they gotta look at that. They gotta look at that because it's inconveniencing them.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
But
you're right. It's inconveniencing them.
Yes.
Right. And I agree with that, Mo. And like I said, I'm here to grow, and I'm here to know.
Yes.
What is for you is for you. And I've been saying this for a long time. If you are unhappy and you're working out, I'm not talking about just give it up, one day, like, oh, I don't want to be with you no more. That's not what I'm saying. You need to know if something is healthy for you. And if it's not healthy for you, be your own doctor. Cut out that cancer before it kills you. And if it's a bad marriage, take it from Brother O. I am the poster child of happiness. I'm like Moses telling, and with Aaron telling the Israelites, let my people go.
But you gotta also, once you, I want to make a comment, Mo. I'm gonna let you talk more in a second. You have to also take honest inventory of yourself and ask yourself, did you do all you could to keep this relationship going? Did you do all you could to honor your partner and your spouse? We have to be honest about that. A lot of times that inventory takes place after we've separated and we evaluate the relationship and what our contributions are. You want to take an honest look at what were your contributions to the demise of that relationship, because that is part of your expansion. That is part of your growth. So I feel like a lot of times, I feel like a lot of people bail out on their relationships because they don't want to grow or change. They don't want to evolve. So if you create an environment or a culture in your home that is conducive to expansion and growth, you're going to be a lot more better prepared when you have when the storms come to weather those storms. So we got to be honest, people, and ask ourselves those questions. What were my contributions to this relationship breaking up? Was I really invested in my partner's happiness? Did I care about them being happy or whatever? We got to be honest about that. And I don't feel like a lot of times we are. As honest as we should be. Go ahead, Mo.
It's funny you said that, Terris. No, before Mo goes, I got to comment on that again. Thanks for sitting on the other toe. Now I can't walk. Now listen, you got to have that conversation before separation. Mm-hmm. You got to have that conversation before separation. What's going on? Can we continue? Are you willing to do this? Nope. Are you willing to do that? Nope. Are you willing to do this? Yep. If your no's outweigh your yeses, and you have that conversation like I had with my second wife, and I'm so glad we had that conversation, and then we got separated, and I'm so glad I had a great lawyer, and I was able to divorce her ass. I said what I said. For me and mine, we had that conversation. So before separation, we knew what it was. All you guys, make sure y'all just don't be separating just on some nut shit. Make sure you have a conversation and effective communication. And then when you get to the divorce table, you both can be happy. I know I was. So can you.
Go ahead, Mo.
I was just going to mention that people respond differently to patriarchy. For example, I have a friend that's married to a woman that's much like the way Brother O was describing. She's more alpha. The husband is not the alpha. The woman has taken that role, even though both the husband and the wife were raised in a household of patriarchy. Like they both took on different aspects of the patriarchy, right? The husband realized that was too much, so he pulled back. The woman didn't get enough attention, so she pushed forward. So it's like a shift, and it's an unhealthy shift. But they don't. It's like they're oblivious to it. So what you're saying is that we as people need to know where we are in time, to know what our agenda is here. That we're here to evolve and grow. And we're here to go and move past that. Am I correct?
Yes. And you're saying that it's unhealthy. Are they still married? Like why is it unhealthy? Because it may work for them. Like for example, I'm gonna give you an example.
It's not working for them.
Okay, so that's a problem. Like for example, Harriet Tubman was an alpha, right? Because she needed to be an alpha to do what she did. Right? She was an alpha, but correct. there was a definite purpose to her being that way. She needed to be that way.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes
it's a shame that our sister. Wait a minute. That's a shame our sister Harry had to put that on her shoulders. So we had some bitch ass male slaves that want to take the forefront of the Underground Railroad. You had more orators talking about freeing slavery, and then the women like Harriet Tubman was actually freeing the slaves. Let's make the language plain tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Poor Harriet. You gotta be an alpha because of bitch ass niggas. Oh my God.
Well, the fact of the matter is, the universe provided, and she was able to do it, but she needed to be that way. She served a purpose. Marriage probably wasn't in her cards, or however that turned out, but she needed to be that way, and I'm glad she was that way. We have to see, the more we look and learn for ourselves, we have an easier time of seeing who people are and accepting that. You have great people. It doesn't mean that you have to marry them or date them, but they probably serve a purpose. So it's always all about expansion. We attach whether it's good or bad or right or wrong. That's not always the case. But we like to attach it to it.
It's a learned thing.
Absolutely.
In some cases. I'm saying it's a learned thing.
Absolutely. Great discourse, Mo. And when is your next show, Mo?
Thank you. My next show is going to be June the 14th, right here on WBNN at 9:30. My topic is going to be about positive mental health in the Black community with special guests Angela Brown and Annette Long.
Okay. Can't wait for that one. Thanks for calling in, Mo. Good as always, breaking the silence. I think we got another caller 4 in the queue. Who am I speaking with?
Brother Vince Moto. Hey, Terris.
Vincent Moto, what's going on, man? It's Vincent. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm listening to y'all busted out. Wonderful. I'm loving it.
My man, Vincent.
Everybody has an opinion, and right now I think everybody's opinion is important, and it's fulfilling obligations, because responsibility in a relationship isn't one way. It's 50-50. And a lot of times if we go into a relationship and we're not going in for the right purpose and looking at a long term. So when I went to college, even though they might say, well, what this got to do with a relationship? Because when I went to college and we talked about long-term goals and short-term goals. Both goals have the same relevancy. It's just one's longer and one's shorter.
Right.
And it's important that we look and identify things in that way. You got to look at your relationship as you look at your health. Like you said, you get up in the morning, you exercise, you stretch because your body needs it. You might do some jumping jacks, then you get to that, you wash up, brush your teeth, whatever, get ready for whatever you're about to do. The same thing is applied into a relationship. When you wake up in the morning, if it's a negative vibe, you need to go back to sleep and figure it out.
Right.
Something, because you should wake up in a blessed, happy, harmonious mode. You know what I mean? No one should wake up angry. No one should go to bed angry. And all these things is important. We got to get rid of this selfishness, man.
Right.
This selfishness is vicious. It destroys many relationships, pride and dignity. I never had a problem with who's leading in a relationship. That don't affect my malehood and my manhood. You understand? My woman might be the one that's needed, necessary to run things. So she needs to be up front running things, and I'm supposed to be behind her, supporting her 100%. And the same thing goes with that the female. If your man is the dominant and he's running things, you got to support him. And then, like you say, it doesn't matter how minute the situation is. When you see a problem, you got to fix it. It's like the car. If you got a hole in your radiator, you might say, that ain't going to bother me right now. It's just a little leak. Guess what? Eventually that leak is going to rip even more. Next you'll be needing an alternator, a water pump, and if that goes bad, then you're going to need a new engine. Okay?
That's
the same thing start happening with relationships. We don't know how to repair that relationship when it starts falling apart.
That's right.
And that's so important. It's so important that we adjust this. It's a relationship, and it can fall apart. It can go bad. It can go sour. It can go just like anything else. And that's what we got to understand, man. And you're putting your whole 100% obligations into this. You stop what you're doing in life to add someone else into your life. And that's so important. When you make that move like that, both people got to be in a harmonious environment, man, wanting that same thing, man.
Absolutely.
It's got to be there. Because if you're in love or you love someone, you care about them, it can destroy you by still trying to stay with them and work on that relationship if the other person is not willing to work on that relationship just like you are putting your 100% into it. Both parties must put that 100% into that relationship, else it's not going to work, and it's best that you identify this early so you can get rid of it, so you can move on and find a relationship that's harmonious with your way of life, your way of thinking, your ideologies and concepts. And, you know, so you both can be compatible, man. That's the only way you're going to grow and develop and make it work, man. And that's so important. I love the conversation that y'all are having, because I've been in relationships where, you know, that it was a good relationship business-wise, but relationship-wise,
romantic,
like I said,
romantically, it was terrible.
they should just stay friends and friends.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
because that's so important. And just because your partner is supporting your goal, like you the one out front, you got to still support your partner's goal. You
Absolutely.
can't just say, all right, well, forget everything that you want in life and just work on everything I want. You're supposed to love me.
But
You
Vincent,
know,
I mean, but Vincent, a lot of men do that.
So selfish too.
But Vincent, a lot of men do that. A lot of men, I'm just being honest, a lot of men don't have a problem with the women being miserable. They don't have a problem with that. They almost expect it for her to be miserable. And a lot of women swallow a lot of water within these relationships until she can't take it no more, and then she wants a divorce, and they didn't even see it coming. And this is who and what I'm talking about.
And this is exactly what I'm saying, but it's not just the women, man. I mean, just the men. It's the women too, bro.
Absolutely.
Because some men are not really the type that always want to be out front. You have some women that love being out front to be the spotlight and star. And what you got that, sometimes they forget about the relationship because it's always about them. They always in the spotlight. They always doing this and always. Oh, hold up, wait a minute. We still got a relationship. And you can't take all your time and dump it into your career and your responsibility and forget about your relationship, because one of them is going to fail, okay? One of them is going to fail if you're not giving both the attention, equal attention that they both need. It's like having a ladder with one leg, like a pole. You get on what you call that thing, a pogo stick. Once you stop jumping, eventually it's going to fall to the side because it don't have 2 legs or 3 legs to hold it up firm. And that's the foundation of the relationship. And that's what's so important. Doesn't matter if it's male or female. I've been in relationships where I had to leave women, and they were so aggressive that they came back busting windows, car doors, and kicking stuff in because you said, hey, I'm done with this.
Yeah, that's
so,
anger.
you know,
Yeah, see,
it goes both ways. My whole point, that I wasn't saying that just directly for female, to say that for female.
Right.
I'm saying males too, but I'm saying it's an equal balance thing.
Absolutely.
It's not, the man is doing the most, or the female. It should be both. We have to come to that balance, man, that equal balance. Life is balance.
You're absolutely right.
You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. It's how you handle the bad situations. You know, bad situations going to come your way. Ain't nobody in life ain't got no bad situations. You could be doing well, but next thing you know, wake up, you got cancer. Or the next thing you know, you can't walk, or something like that. So, you know, all that's important. It's preparation, man. When you get into a relationship, that thing you're supposed to become as one. You understand? And a lot of people don't do that. I'm not saying forget your whole life and just deal with that person. I'm saying we both got to be balanced, man, to keep that relationship
absolutely. And
harmonious, balanced. And a lot it's not happening anymore.
And you're right, Vincent. You're absolutely right. Of course, this show is about male chauvinism and restoring the masculine. But the point that I've been trying to make tonight is that we have put our women down. We have put the feminine or our women down for years, and now she is turned into something that we don't like, and then we blame her for that. So if we're the men and we want to be the leaders, then we got to accept some responsibility at what we've created. We've told her that her traits are not important. So now she's trying to act like us. So now many of us we're in relationships with men, right? And now we don't like it. So we have to reverse that. And we reverse that by acknowledging her and why these traits are important. That's what this show is about. Thanks for calling in, Vincent. You gotta call
Okay.
in more often, bro. I appreciate your comments.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, Vincent. Yeah, but yes, that's what this show is about. So I want to talk about. I don't think we have any more callers right now. So that's why I want to talk. I want to show some traits very quickly.
Oh, yes, you do. Oh,
Another
no,
caller?
no. Oh, no, you don't. You got a caller waiting back the bit. I
Okay.
can't wait for this conversation right
Oh,
here.
it must be Chinchilla. Caller 5. I knew it was Chinchilla. I knew it.
Terris. It's me. How y'all doing, everybody?
You doing all right?
Priscilla Janicia, the Queen of Justice, and WBNN Commissioner, CEO of the Mind Touches Network, and a whole lot of other stuff.
And this is
And
the alpha.
I'm an alpha.
She's an
female.
alpha, right?
I'm just an alpha. But listen, this show is awesome. I love the conversation. I love the topic, and you know, everybody that said something tonight, you know, Ava, Jerry,
Right.
Mo, Genesis,
Yes.
Doc O, and Vincent, you know, y'all all
Yes.
said some really good stuff, and Terris, I love everything you were saying as well, and you're absolutely right, you know, how women have gotten to the place they are today.
Yes.
You know, the ones that are the alpha women. Now, some, you know, have been, I guess, alpha from birth.
Right.
I can say, with myself, just talking about myself. You know, ever since I was a child, I've always had that, I guess, that alpha spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was always a leader. Always running for something in school, class president, and all this other kind of stuff. And so it was just in me to be that way. And, you know, as I always hear many times, you know, I don't like being dictated to do, to tell me what I need to do or have to do, and, you know, or taking orders, you know, because some people don't know how to give orders. You know, it's one thing to, you know, suggest something, or even, you know, as a boss or a manager of a business or an executive of a corporation, you know, there's leadership, and being a leader and being a boss, there's two different things. So, you know, a leader knows how to communicate effectively, they know how to listen effectively, and they will take opinions into consideration. However, people that try to be a boss, that's a whole different thing, because someone that wants to be a boss, they always have to be right. And that can cause a lot of problems in relationships when you have, especially when you have an alpha woman, and then you have that male that's already, that should be an alpha already, but as you said, some men do have a feminine side, and I think everyone has a feminine
Everyone
trait
has both.
within and a masculine trait within.
That's right.
But when you have two alphas, where two people are both leaders, and it can become a very difficult type of relationship if there's not a communication level involved. And then you'll have a relationship with someone that's a leader, and then someone that wants to be a boss. And again, a boss is someone that wants to dictate, and that can become very, very toxic when you have someone that wants to be a dictator, someone who does not embrace others' opinions. That can be very toxic. And I heard Dr. talk about, you know, his marriages, his second marriage, and all that stuff. And, you know, and in the relationship.
Hey. Wait. I got two things to say. And of course, I have no more feet to be stepped on, but I love Dr. J. Number one, when it came down to, like I said, relationship, I wanted to make sure it was crystal clear. There was communication there, you know, Chinchilla. and we came.
Oh, I didn't say that there wasn't
agreement.
communication.
And that's what that.
You didn't let me finish what I was going to say about what you said.
I got you. But I'm saying what I'm saying. There was communication there, and we amicably separated, and then, of course, divorce and all that, blah, 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 blah. But, of course, I want to let the listening world know, this young lady's been my commissioner for, longer than she needs to be, because of situations where people can, come to the, to the battlefront and take her place. Our relationship has been grand. Again, she already said she's an alpha. Again, she follows leadership. We know that she would not be here if we didn't have effective, communication. One thing about Dr. J, and definitely the world that is WBNN, right, Commissioner, which is sometimes a mess. This is my chief second. And when I bring up the corporate edict and we talk about it, we agree. We are equally yoked. So trust me, Doc ain't talking about me. When it comes to leadership, she's talking about you other guys who can't keep networks together because y'all shouldn't even have a network. So why don't you just join WBNN? You know what I mean? Your network's garbage. Now go ahead and talk, Chinchilla.
Yes, that's so true. But as I was going to say, as Daco, he shares with his second marriage, and it was toxic or whatever, he had to get a divorce. But yet they still communicated. But anytime when you have toxicity involved, and, the toxic person, you can't be around toxic people. And some people that may love each other and be in love, but it's toxic. And sometimes that person that's toxic, they don't even realize that they're toxic. They think, it's the other person, but when they're the toxic one, they are the cancer. And how can you know that? Well, look at their past relationships, and if they're always putting the blame at someone else, then they should know, hey, you point the blame everywhere else, but except at yourself. Because there are people that don't want to take responsibility and become accountable for their actions or their non-actions in a relationship. As Terry said, that, the man and even the woman in a relationship, we have to look at the other person, at the one that we say we love, that we're involved with, at their needs, at what makes them happy. So if you have one partner that's constantly doing things that other person likes to do, even though they may not have any interest in it, but yet they will do it anyway because they know that's what that their mate likes. So they'll go ahead and join in and go to do different things that the other person's doing just to show, hey, I love you, so I'm going to go ahead and do this with you. And so you have a partner that's doing that, and then the other one is not worrying about what the other partner likes. They just want to do everything they want to do, and want that partner to do everything they want to do, and never tries to please their partner.
Right.
And so that's bad, and that can cause a lot of problems because then that person that is being neglected, then that's neglect. Because you're neglecting the needs of your partner, and you're neglecting to make them happy, and that person that feels that neglect, especially a woman, and then that woman has other men that's taking an interest in things that she likes to do, and that other man is listening and communicating and understanding and, valuing opinions and all of that.
Right.
Whereas her husband or her boyfriend is not. Hey, that man can wind up losing that woman because someone else is doing what he needs to be doing. It doesn't even have to be like an intimate relationship, no sex involved or anything. But women like to be heard. They like to be understood. And they like to have a partner that takes interest in what they're doing and to go places they like to go, do things they like to do, and not always have that man being so self-centered about himself. And same thing, if a woman if you're not taking interest in what your man likes to do, you need to be. Because in a relationship, we have to. And sometimes you may not even want to do what they want to do, but do it anyway. And if that man doesn't, reciprocate, then something's wrong, and maybe it is time to move on. If
Chinchilla.
that man is never willing to do anything you like to do, lady, hey, it might be time for y'all to move on. If that man is toxic, self-centered, and probably a narcissist.
Chinchilla, I have a question. Chinchilla, I have a question for you.
And we all have to look. Yes.
I have a question for you. All right, so I have a question for you. Do you think two alphas can get along? You got a male alpha and a female alpha. Now, I believe they can, right? And I believe that the deciding factor is what is their motivation behind them being an alpha? If they're an alpha, if they have to always be in charge and be the top dog because they have an internal feeling of self-worth, they feel unworthy and they're trying to compensate, then that's a problem, right? And you have a lot of situations like that.
Yeah.
But the question that I would ask is, if I meet this woman and she's an alpha woman, I want to know why, right? What is her motivation really? Where does her motivation come from?
Wait a minute. We just told you that two alphas can work. It's the one and only Beverly Nation. You know that Chinchilla knows that I'm alpha all the day.
But y'all not married. Y'all not married, brother.
Man, look, I come from the Crip gang.
Y'all not married.
So nothing can ever change that. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful to the day I
Y'all
die.
not married.
That's a business relationship.
Right. No, I'm talking about alphas on the real. I'm talking where it started.
I'm talking about marriage. I'm talking about marriage.
You got a young lady here that has pastored her own church. So we come together. So yes, the answer is yes. Two alphas can make the greatness of what this is. We are the one and only Beverly Nation. My chief second is an alpha. And she's willing to listen to what I have to say and when I come after my direction. Remember now, without proper leadership, there's no direction.
But could you be married? Is the question. Chinchilla says no.
Like you say, Terry.
Could you be married? Chinchilla says no, Dr. O.
Because me and Doc O be married?
No. Wait.
It's one thing with a business. It's one thing with a business relationship.
Don't ask that
Alpha
question.
is different.
He said don't answer that question.
I know. Terry's trying to start
You're not going to do. No, you're not going to do that. But can we be married to people that are alpha? Yes.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, alpha can be married. Yeah, alpha
You can if both the alphas focus.
Can have a good relationship.
Right, if both the alphas focus on collaboration. Right.
Guess what? You can listen. I'm gonna tell you how two alphas can be married. Man, well, somebody got.
Now he asked me the question, Dr. O.
See, look at this.
I know. I'm answering the question, and you can answer that. You can say that bed is undefiled, baby. Alpha, baby.
Easy.
Listen,
we got children on this thing.
Two alphas can have a relationship that could be very fruitful, very wonderful. And those two alphas, the key to it, again, is communication, compromise, because you have to compromise in a relationship. You have to meet each other's needs. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about emotionally, mentally, sexually. You have to be there for each other and willing to go out of your way to make the other person happy. Although happiness comes from within. So if you have two alphas and both of you are content and secure with who you are inside, then it should not be a problem. But if you have one that is not fully secure with who they are,
you're going to have a problem.
Then that's where the problem starts.
Yep.
Because they're always looking for validation.
Right, because they're not real alphas.
Sometimes, as an alpha person, you might not always give that person validation because as an alpha person, look, I don't need validation from nobody. So, I
thought you needed validation from Dr. O.
Because I already validated myself.
Hey, Doc, I got to come on and say this. As an alpha male, please answer this question for all the alpha males out there. And Dr. Chinchilla J, don't be laughing when I say this. Why must I chase the cat? Why must I chase the cat? But the dog in me.
Let the dog in me. Woof.
All right. Chinchilla, thanks for calling, man. We got another caller. Thanks
Yeah,
for...
listen, all right, tune in to News Forum, y'all, Sunday night, 9:30 p.m. Gonna have a great show. This is Men's Month, you know, and so we're gonna have some wonderful guys on this Sunday, and of course, the following Sunday for Father's Day, but this Sunday is gonna be off the chain, y'all. So make sure y'all tune in this Sunday night. And Vincent wants to talk about his show on Chaos, his next show on Chaos. So he messaged me, so I didn't get a chance to say that about my show. Anyway, his next show on Chaos is June 27th at 8 p.m. on the Mind Crushers Network. And that whole week is Mind Crushers Week. And that starts June 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. With that Monday night with Ricky G, kicking it off with Metamorphosis. And then that Tuesday is me and my mommy with our show called Ouch. Two naturopathic doctors giving it to y'all raw, telling y'all how to get well and stay well. And then Wednesday is Escaping the Matrix with Narcissa, Media Queen. And then Thursday night, Vincent Show Chaos. All at 8 p.m. on the Mind Crushers Network, and y'all tune in just like y'all tuned in tonight to Terris' show. Only thing, the show ID is different from Mind Crushers. So take a pen, write it down, 862-9999#. And for News Forum, the same way you called in tonight to know your rights is the same way you're going to call in to News Forum Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great show, Terris.
Thanks for your comments, Chinchilla. I think we have another caller in the queue. Who am I speaking with?
Well, we hope that caller comes back in, because I know a lot of people get, impatient when it comes down. We all have a chance to get there to talk, but the choices that you make in life, I'll say, Terris, that's with Dr. Chinchilla J. It's been one of the greatest choices I've ever made. I'm a person who believes in justice all around and fair. Mm-hmm. To be a good leader, you must be fair, firm, and consistent. There's no other way. Fair, firm, and consistent is the key. And every nation, remember, we have no micromanagement. There's a lot of so-called CEOs that don't own nothing, that have shows. And they are dictators. You need to do this, you need to do that. And some of our CEOs, and I don't make no names, have networks that they don't even allow their hosts to even be on other networks. Because they're afraid that host will grow greater than their own future network. That's a missile problem. So those folks, I consider them beta. So all the beta men out there, understand there was a pill that your mother could have swallowed, you not to come on in this life. I said what I said. And now back to Terris Strength with some healing on New Perspective.
All right, so I want to thank those comments. I wanted to go over 5 traits. I don't know if I have time for it. I wanted to go over some five main characteristics of male chauvinists.
No, you got time.
All right, so I want to go over these 5.
No, you got time. Go ahead. I want to go over these at 11:30.
I want to go over these 5 characteristics of male chauvinist husband. So if you're dealing with a male chauvinistic husband, which can be challenging or hurtful, here are 5 characteristics to help you recognize this behavior, allowing you to address the situation with empathy and understanding. Number 1 is dominance. Male chauvinistic husbands tend to assert control and dominance in decision making, often undermining their spouse's opinions or choices. Somebody mentioned that tonight. Number 2 is belief in gender stereotypes. They may hold traditional gender roles and believe that certain tasks or responsibilities should be exclusively handled by men or women, limiting your freedom to choose your roles in a relationship. Women also do this, right? They also do this, all right? Number 3, lack of empathy. Empathy towards your feelings and needs may be lacking as they may prioritize their own desires and perspectives. I think Chinchilla she spoke to that. Number 4, dismissal of equality. Male chauvinists may resist the idea of equal partnerships and may not fully support their personal and professional aspirations. Okay, so it's all about, it's all about how you look, but what you're doing, they don't really matter a whole lot. Insensitive comments. They may make insensitive or derogatory remarks about women or belittle you, which can be emotionally distressing. Now, how do you know if a man is a chauvinist? Here are 7 signs, flags, for you to know that you're with either you're dating a guy or you're married to a guy, right, who's a chauvinist. He orders for you without checking what you like. You go out and eat, he orders for you first. Number 2, he wants to know about your parenting aspirations, but not your career goals. Number 3, the first date is full of pet names like babe, honey, and sweetie. I think somebody I know who went on a dating site, and she met some guys, and that's how she was addressed when she met them in person. Number 4, referring to exes starts a name-calling tirade. So he'll ask you about your ex, but then he start calling names. Number 5, he has a philosophy regarding women and decisions. Okay? Women and decisions. In other words, they are not to make any decisions. You got to know this stuff before you attach yourself to somebody like that, ladies. Number 6, he frequently dismisses your opinions and decisions, showing a lack of respect for your thoughts and ideas. Number 7, he tries to dictate to you who you can hang out with or see, displaying an excessive need to control your social interactions. All right? 11 signs that you have a chauvinistic husband. You're constantly interrupted in conversations. This is among the classic male chauvinist example. You listen patiently to his conversation, but when it's your turn, he always finds a reason to interrupt as though your experiences and thoughts are irrelevant. Number 2, he's continually validating himself as a nice guy. Yeah, he has to do that because he knows he's a jerk. If he's complaining that he's a nice guy and that many mates are not appreciative when they have a good thing that treats them well, that can be toxic. Continue to announce it doesn't mean you're nice. Number 3, periods are father for his humor. Using PMS as a reason women must be in bad humor is not funny. It makes the guy look like he doesn't respect women. Number 4, earning more than him bothers him. While he supports your career, he places a great deal of importance on gender roles, so when he finds out you're earning more money, it doesn't make him happy. Number 5, he's a benevolent sexist. This male chauvinist example is a man who will rush to help, but their help comes across as more degrading to their partner than a genuine willingness to care for a problem. A man with chauvinistic traits will jump in to help, and he would treat you as if you are incapable of functioning without his assistance. Number 6, mansplaining. A very common one among the sides of chauvinistic men explains things to a partner in a mansplaining context is simply another way of showing his power and further degrading a mate, acting as though they can't comprehend logistics. See, these are all the things that go on that stack up. Next thing you know, she wants a divorce. Number 7, compliments are only reserved for looks. Instead of complimenting your abilities with hobbies, interests, skills, or even careers, the chauvinist will concentrate on the way you look, and that's it. Number 8, he doesn't like your male friends. He could be jealous, but is most often sexist in that he's afraid that you will chat with one of your friends or that one of them will steal you away from him. Number 9, he has a set of ideas concerning what denotes a real woman. If you want real children, he will find that you're the epitome of a real woman. If you have friends who choose not to get married, they don't fall under that category. And now you hear women saying the same thing. They want a real man. They quick to tell you that you're supposed to provide and protect, right? But we created that. See, we started that. Number 10, if you want to discuss females' roles in society today, he has no interest. There's no desire on his part to discuss feminism or issues being faced by women in today's society. Number 11, he seeks financial control. He insists on controlling the finances, making it difficult for you to have any financial independence. In some cases, this could be part of the cycle of an abusive relationship. She adds that if you have no financial independence, it makes you difficult for you to leave an abusive relationship. So I wanted to go over some of these traits so you guys know what it looks like. But these are things that are accepted in our society. I know many of you have experienced it. And first of all, if you see a man that's like that, you might not want to be in a relationship with a person like that. You might not want to be. We must start having more of these conversations, family. We got to start having more of these conversations about this because it's very, very important. You know, it's very important. And we're all losing. The men are ending up alone. The women are ending up alone. They're becoming more masculine because they've been told that the feminine is weak. It's weak to have feelings, emotions, or anything associated with feminine traits are weak, and they're marginalized. So this is why we're talking about this. And that's about all I'm going to say on that, Brother O. Do you have any more comments? Any more comments or questions?
Well, first of all, I'll go right into Ngozi time. Let's go right into it. I want to thank all the folks that came out robbery with this outstanding program tonight, and set us by our wonderful Hall of Famer, Mr. Terris Strength. And what more can we say? But tomorrow, we'll be right back at Talk Show at 8 o'clock with Jerry Petito. And her show is very, very important because it talks about recovery. Not only that, we're talking about people who have recovered. Positive stories. And some of the stories are haunting in the road to their recovery. So I'm proud of our Hall of Famer, Jerry Petito, and her show tomorrow night. The Jerry Petito Show, recovery, as usual. That'll be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at www.talkshow.radio. And of course, we'll be back on Blog Talk tomorrow night at 9. We had no issues tonight. It's just the fact that we wanted to do the show at Talk Show. Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we'll have Ava Holly and her class will chat. And she's hardworking, doing it twice a week. And in the spirit of the old Beverly Nation, we all know that Dr. Chichola Jonicia has that spirit every Sunday. But tomorrow night will be Ava Holly's experience, 9 o'clock Eastern, daylight time at www.blogtalkradio.com on the one and only Beverly Nation. Of course, Beverly Nation's advertising doing goes this time multimedia center with Google, Instagram, and X on Twitter. All the other labels goes to Facebook. Any kind of suggestions on one for programs tonight, Ole Day Lay, that goes with mine, gmail.com. I am your mother and father, state producer, Dr. Ole Day Lay, and goes to saying good night and good luck to all the folks out there on Force Radio that support us on a constant basis. And now back to the 2020 Second from award-winning WBN Lenny the host of the year in Excelsior. Outstanding status. The 2022 International Radio Hall of Fame broadcasting Ms. Ronnie. Mr. Terris.
Thank you for that, Brother O. I want to thank everyone that chimed in tonight. The comments were outstanding. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank everyone that chimed in on Facebook Live, showing your support. I appreciate your comments. This was a great show. I hope it's caused someone to think about what they're doing in their relationships. I want to encourage everyone to as men, get some books and learn about women. Learn about the traits, strive to be divine men. And I believe that if we do that, you will see more divine women, more divine feminine developing and pull her out of chauvinism. We have to move ourselves out of chauvinism and really begin to respect and honor the other side of ourself energetically so that we can be better in our relationships and get along better and pull our women back into balance, okay? And women, you have to do the same. You have to do the same, for your energy is very powerful, okay? It is very powerful. So I want to thank everyone for chiming in on the show. I will see you in a month. It's been great. Make sure you hug somebody and tell them you love them. And hopefully we have another insightful show for you in about 4 weeks. Thank you. Good night. And also, before
Your line has been disconnected by the moderator.
Okay.
Goodbye.
And also, to my Facebook family, I'm speaking up in Bronx, New York on Saturday from 10 to 4. It's a metaphysical men's healing workshop for men. And I'll be talking on Leo Rising, the return to the masculine. So please, come up there and join us. We would love to have you up there. Thank you for chiming in. If not, I will see you in 4 weeks. Thank you. Good night. And again, tell someone you love them. I'll talk to you. Hey, Valeska, what's going on? Good night.